representative asked National Security Advisor to declare the killings a national emergency. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Olayinka Oyegbile. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Let's start on a celebration mood following appointment of some of our colleagues as aides to Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as Nigerians await release of the names of ministerial nominees. President Tinubu has appointed 20 personal aides. Some of them are the publisher of Western Post newspaper, TUNDE RAHMAN, as the Senior Special Assistant, SSA, to the President on Media, ABDULAZIZ as SSA on print media, Yetunde SEKONI as SSA, and our own Sunday Moses as personal assistant to the President on photography. And we also have Taiwo Okolao as also a personal photographer to the presidency there. Jide, Sunday Moses, Tunde Rahman. Ah, guys, all true and true.
Yes, it's a thing of joy to me that Sunday Moses is the first ever EA to the president on videography. We've always had
Videography, yeah.
personal assistant to the president photography. But he's the first ever personal assistant videography. It underlines his competence in a number of areas because he's good at taking still pictures and he's also very good
visual.
Yes.
He has his height as an advantage.
And he's a very gritty person, very determined. He's worked in very dangerous places, some of the most difficult campaigns.
Yes.
Seen him go there and excel. And the interesting thing is, at the time when I posted him to Asiwaju, he felt it was a punishment. He wanted to be somewhere else. I said the day will come when I will say a thing like this, because sometimes you never know what God has in store for you. And I remember him bringing the head of the camera unit to me. The head of camera unit was very angry. At a point, I had to remind him that I was his boss. For the way he was talking on behalf of Sunday. He didn't want Sunday to be posted to that place. But look at what has happened today.
Wow, that's
everywhere. Now he's going to have his diplomatic passport. Everywhere the president is going, they go together. The first set of images from the president's foreign trips will come from him. So I'm very happy for him. And Tope Ajayi, who is also one of the essays. Tope's competence is not in doubt. I've watched him from afar, not that we are close, but I can attest to his competence in terms of his constructive engagement with people on social media, and he will make his point without insulting people, which is the stock in trade of so many of our people bloggers who have turned the social media to
online emergency journalists.
So, and there are others. My friend Tunde Rahman,
calm, cool, collected,
always ready to learn, always ready to listen to a contrary opinion. He's an editor's editor. He made his mark at this day, and no one can argue about the fact that he deserved to be there. And I remember Okon as well. Okon,
Taiwo Okolao.
I've been Asiwaju
from Alausa days
for so long. When you go to Asiwaju's house, Bodilon, Okon is the person who takes all the shots. So if you want a copy of your picture with the big man, Okon is the person to call out. Yes, you just find a way to reach him. He will send it to you. So Asiwaju picked, and then when you're talking about SEKONI, TUNDE SEKONI, you know, had long been a freedom house. Asiwaju chose people that he had known over the years.
Working, yes. And also Paul Adekoye.
TUNDE Moses had been working with him since 2015. You know, so usually you pick your close aides for this, because these are not political appointments.
No. Not forgetting
so you pick people that, Demola Oshodi. What with Sunday Dare, when Sunday Dare was chief of staff to Asiwaju. So these are people that he had grown accustomed to and is sure of their competence. We have no time to talk about everybody
one by one, but then
I only talk about some of them.
Congratulations.
We wish them Godspeed, and I'm confident that they will deliver.
The next 4 years.
Yeah, just at the risk of repeating what BK has said.
Because I've forgotten that journalism is like a circle.
I know Tunde RAHMAN, I know very well. So I can talk about him. He's unassuming, perceptive, and deep. And you know, when you take up this kind of a job, you know that your job is to make those who love your principal to love him more, and those who hate him to rethink again that, I mean, and I very strongly, Tunde feels the bill, because he's a very unassuming, you can never see
talk calmly.
Exactly.
Always.
So, he's a very good one, and Tokwe, well, just as you said, I know him also tangentially, but I think he's also a good pick. And so they should hit the ground running. We wish them all the best.
All the best. And
we're waiting for the ministers.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We're waiting. In a matter of
the whole nation is waiting.
Yes.
In fact, the whole world.
Actually, not forgetting the new law that within 2 months.
Yes, he's going to do it.
Yes, so
25.
I think the reason a lot of
within 25.
The reason a lot of our people are anxious was because they were told that it will happen within a few weeks. So obviously, the president has had to rethink some of the earlier
exigencies.
Yes, you have to do a lot of
factors before that election.
Shopping, and you know, a lot of people that you had picked, you have to rethink.
Okay, these are Sunday Moses. Moses. Yeah.
You know, Sunday 6'7", the tallest man at TVC, and he's probably the tallest man in Aso Rock now. You know, so. Wish them good luck. Wish them good luck. Lovely guys.
These are the president.
It's their duty to make the president.
That's Tunde.
Those are at own Tunde
Abdulaziz, the Wole Soyinka Investigative Award winner for the story on Kemi Adeosun. You know, the forgery story.
Okay.
He won the award, and it catapulted him to fame. You know, he moved from got into Daily Trust and then to another medium. So it's done Premium Times. You know.
So congratulations, guys. Yeah.
Well done. We'll be praying for you.
Today, RAHMAN is the SSA Media. That's Senior Special Assistant to the President of Media.
Yes,
Wow. All right, moving on now. The fireworks for the November 11 governorship election in Kogi State are on. In one of the issues trailing the election, the Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed a suit filed by an aspirant of the All Progressive Congress, APC, in the state primaries, that Senator Smart Adeyemi, against the emergence of the candidate of the party, Usman Ododo. The court ruled that it lacks merits, delivering the judgment. Justice Omotosho held that Adeyemi's allegations were criminal in nature. Jide, can you give us an insight into this? I just know that Smart Adeyemi was...
The judge didn't just say, the judge didn't dismiss it on account of it being criminal in nature. He dismissed the case because he had to prove the allegations that were criminal in nature, but he couldn't prove those allegations. So the judge said, look, the allegations, you allege forgery and falsification of results. It is now in your place to prove that indeed forgery and falsification of results took place. But
so it's easy to allege.
But at the end of the day, he was able to show that, okay, in Iyara, his hometown, election didn't take place. But there are other local governments in Kogi State. So you cannot win a case when you do not present sufficient evidence. And to make matters worse for Smart Adeyemi, the man who once boasted that even if Yabelo told him to vote for his enemy, that he will vote for his enemy. And the thing went back. People have to be careful.
That was when the going was good.
People have to be careful what they say, even when the going is good. You have to be. You see, our people believe so much in absolutes.
Yeah. Psychophancy.
People, even at the height of your best relationship with someone, there are things that you can't say.
Yeah, because anything can go wrong at any point.
Look, that Yabelo, whatever Yabelo tells me to do, I will do.
That is what he said.
Even if he says that my enemy, I must vote for my enemy,
in fact,
I will support my enemy.
Has that sound.
So now,
he has brought somebody.
Now you are against that same person today. That same person has brought someone who is not even your enemy. You know, that person is not even your enemy. There is no record that you and Ododo had ever fought. He's not your enemy, yet you are
going to court. You're taking your party to court.
Fight, to work for him. So people have to be careful. We shouldn't get unnecessarily overexcited at some moments to the point that we will now say certain things that cannot stand the test of time. Because the internet never forgets. Yeah. Before you know it, they will bring it out for you.
No, it's everywhere. That's how bites.
Ododo.
He was wearing a face mask and he was saying it. That Yayabelo is everything. Yayabelo.
You know the thing, you cannot blame him. I once said on this program that Yayabelo lifted Smart Adeyemi from the barricade of obscurity. He had slipped into the doldrums of politics. And then Yayabelo brought him out of the doldrums. Yayabelo literally breathed life into him politically, and he got back to the center.
Because ordinarily,
so for that reason, he felt indebted to him. Remember when he had to confront a fellow member of the Senate?
Yes.
All because of Yayabelo.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't.
Yes, I remember.
All because of Yayabelo. Is Abaribe. They were discussing the governor of Abia when he said that one was always drinking champagne and all that. Now, this is the choice of the party. I didn't witness the primaries. I don't know if ghosts were the people who voted. It's not in my place to
INEC observed it. INEC observed it and INEC confirmed.
INEC. No, I'm going there. You know, so now, when you said election didn't take place, INEC brought results. Showed result sheets indicating the elections took place. Police also in their report indicated that primaries took place. And they presented such evidence before the court. What do you expect the court to do? He who alleges must prove.
That's something about court.
He who alleges
must prove.
It's
not just making allegation. If you know you have anything, that this person did not win the election, or you take it to court and you must prove beyond reasonable doubt.
And if you bring tons of documents to court, you must get witnesses to speak to the document.
Yes.
You must get, if you do not get witnesses to speak to the documents, you have wasted your time. It's as simple as that.
I think what happened here is Adeyemi being a sore loser. Well,
that's just what
at a point, if you say that the Ododo didn't win, or maybe the process through which the governor brought him in you didn't like, that's a different case entirely than saying that he didn't win. Because now you, as a senator or as an individual, what are the things you need to muster to beat the influence of the governor? I mean, so whether the governor is right or wrong, you know that it is you've lost already.
Yes.
So there is no case, and if you go to the court, you must prove to the court that this is what happened. We are not saying or rationalizing that what Yaya Bello did is right or wrong, but in all states, the governor is the leader of the party. And if the governor has said, this is the candidate I want, and you went to primaries with him and you lost, I think it's fair enough that since you cannot prove that election did, okay, if election didn't take place in his own area, okay, remove that from what Ododo got, and let's see what happens. I think that is just a...
If you remember, from 2007, this kind of thing happened in Lagos, while all the commissioners that served with Bola Tinubu, majority of his friends and everything, they felt that, they were going to come out, that they were going to be the anointed person. And all of a sudden, I remember Airport Hotel, they had a joint press conference that no, they were rebelling against Babatunde Fashola that was chosen at that time. And at the end of the day, when they went, some went to the other party, some came back to the party, some were placated, some till now, they have not found their political bearings. Now, Smart Adeyemi has decided to take his party to court now. And let's say maybe we appeal this ruling or this judgment if he gets to maybe Supreme Court or wherever he wants to go. But election is November 11. But the bottom line is, for now, it's still Ododo that is the candidate of the party. How does this thing work?
He's in his place to decide his next course of action. I am not his special advisor political. I don't know what he intends to do next, and it's not in my place to advise him, you know. But I know the way politics is structured in our country. If we do not have the support of the governor, and especially a governor who is on ground. You know, there are some states where governors could not decide their successors.
Yes. Yep.
Even this last dispensation.
Yes.
That the people emerged were not people that they wanted. Because
yes.
they were lukewarm.
Yes.
Yaya Bello as a person is not lukewarm.
Yeah.
Yaya Bello is hands-on. And he knew what he wanted. Some of us thought he would pick his deputy.
Yeah.
What? He decided that he wanted Ododo. You know? Some of us thought the thing would go to the east. So we were looking in the direction of... the governor said this was the person that I wanted. So the rest of you, he called them, those of his aides, and explained to them. All of those people that he called into that room, I've not seen a single one who decided to go to court. Or who decided, okay, I'm going it alone. I don't want to support the governor's choice. Or Edward, the deputy, like a good party man, loyal to his boss,
kept quiet,
and long-term friend, he did not join another party. He just accepted it. That, okay, it's God that gives power. Was smart. Should have known that the governor would not support him because the governor did not support his return to the Senate.
He contested that. Yes, he contested.
He lost out.
He lost, I think he
lost out. So that should have been the signal.
The signal for him.
That this man who brought you and backed you against Dino Melaye did everything possible for you to regain it, including all the battles, the legal battles and all that. He stood by you. That man
and he made him
decided
the re-election.
he decided not to
withdraw his power or his support.
Once he gets to given the way politics is structured in our country, just accept it.
Forget it.
Because whatever it is, you can't defeat the governor. The way politics is structured, and people understand what I'm talking about. Yeah. Once you don't,
doesn't want to go down without a fight.
Once you don't get it, it's either you plunge into it, waste all your money,
all your resources,
and you will still not achieve your aim, or go to another party. And if you go to another party, you can still be frustrated. So these things happen. Our friend, Senator Sabi Abdullahi, the governor of Niger State, took his ticket. He was he was mad about it. In the end, the traditional ruler, the one whose dad made Shuaju Jagaban.
Yeah, in Niger. Dantoro.
The Emir of Bogu found a way to reconcile them. To reconcile because they are his subject. And today, Sabi Abdullahi is not fighting anybody. And the governor eventually took the senatorial seat. So these things happen. Smart is disappointed. He has every reason to be disappointed. But if you still want to pursue this matter, the way it is, those facts that you didn't bring up before the lower court,
it will be
difficult to present them
at the higher court.
Yes, because what the higher court does is review how the case was determined by the lower court.
So you can't tender
fresh evidence before them. They are not going to accept it. So it's already fait accompli in my view, and I wish my brother Godspeed.
All right, we'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more.
In the busy traffic, your car breaks down. Car horns blast. Your car is pushed aside. You call for help. Phone battery blinks and dies. You take a cab. Few miles, tire bursts. What a day. Frustrated, sweating, and tired. Nearing home, darkness envelops the street. Wow! Just one house is bubbling with life. Brilliant lights, loud music, smiling wife, all welcome you.
We alone have light?
Yes, it's JRB Solar Energy Systems, my anniversary present to us.
No matter how dark life is, the sun is gonna shine on everything you do. JRB solar inverters, batteries, solar panels, solar streetlights and more. Telephone 0906 752 1111. Email sales@jrbsolar.com. JRB, the sun is gonna shine on everything you do.
Need a white card. I'm your big fan too.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, brother.
Me gun myself, I'm a rapper.
Is that so?
Any day, any weather, and I'm chilling with my main guy, Fena.
Alpha, network problem.
Yes, well, got me.
Let me turn on my hotspot.
It have got it.
You hop on 9 Mobile confirm data. You can't be out here stranded in this street, so this guy.
When you're on 9 confirm from 9 Mobile, you get a super gift of 1,000 naira just for joining the network. 900% bonus on every recharge. 100% data bonus for 6 months and double data bonus on your first recharge of the month.
Get a new SIM or dial star 1400# now.
9 Mobile.
Thank you for staying with us. If you are just joining us, this is Journalist Hangout. The main opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, is at the crossroad regarding how to mend its tattered umbrella. As the crisis within the party persists, PDP governors met in Abuja over the states of the party and the country. The PDP Governors Forum called on the federal government to tackle insecurity in the country. Julie, the People's Democratic Party, they gave a good showing, but if not because of the intractable problem within the party, intra-party crisis, I'll call it. And I thought they were going to bounce back in 2023, but unfortunately, the party was divided and the party lost the election and PDP lost to PDP.
Yes, they just didn't learn from their past mistakes. If you wouldn't learn from your mistakes, then you are doomed to repeat those mistakes. PDP had every reason to win this last election.
Honestly.
Every reason. They can complain about IREF and all that, but they didn't put their house in order.
It was just, they were just
not IREF that will win the election for you. It is what happens at the polling centers from EC8A. What is logged into the form, that is the primary evidence. That is the result sheet. It is still that result sheet that you snap and put on IREF. IREF doesn't win election for you.
It's a myth.
So they can talk about IREF for as long as they want. But you had crisis in Kebbi. You had crisis in Kaduna. Namadi Sambo does not see McCarthy eye to eye. And unfortunately, McCarthy devotes his time to the party and his resources much more than Namadina Sambo. Namadina Sambo will show up when election comes. Yet, you do not like this man and you get your people to work against the interests of the party. This is what all of them have done. In Kebbi, they did very well in the presidential election. They took Kebbi. The powerful man of Kebbi politics, Adamu Alero, and the majority leader, the then majority leader of the Senate, they moved into the PDP. That was strength for the PDP. But the PDP had crisis in Kebbi that they could not resolve until after the governorship election. Now, that crisis is still there. They have crisis in Oyo. They have crisis in Rivers.
They have crisis in Lagos. They've been having crisis in Lagos.
Crisis in many of the states.
Ekiti.
So, if you have crisis and you are unable to solve the crisis, how do you intend to defeat an incumbent government? It's going to be impossible. Because you need to first put your house in order before going to battle.
You had crisis with the G5 governors.
Yes. No, in all of those places where we even had the G5, that's why I mentioned Oyo. There are crises there. You know, I mentioned Rivers already. Where you had those governors, you had crisis. Because there were those who did not support the governors, who remain within the party, and they are like, what is going on? I think that the fact that the chairman of the party, the national chairman of the party, didn't think that no sacrifice was too big.
He refused to step down.
To keep the party strong. You know, okay, you know, I didn't mention Edo. They have a big crisis in Edo as well.
Yes, yes.
Which
Obaseki one side, and what's the name of this former chairman?
Yes,
chairman. Obi. Dan Obi. Very strong man.
You know?
Yes.
So they have crisis in so many places. Now, it's a good thing that they had this meeting and the governors were overwhelmingly present. Even the governor of Rivers, who didn't show up, was said to have taken permission, you know, from the party. That is a good sign. And Damagum presided over the meeting because already the courts have put Ayu in the cooler. So Ayu can't show up at their meetings. What the PDP needs to do now is decide where they are headed. What should be the next line of action for them? I think the next line of action for PDP is to resolve the crisis within them. The leadership crisis has to be resolved. They have to forget what has happened. Just like the governor of Bauchi said, this is not the time for blame game over the 2023 election. You've lost the election, you've lost the election. You know, you've lost. No doubt about it, you lost. So forget the blame game. Focus on the future. What do you want at this stage? The people worked against the party, did anti-party. A decision has to be taken. There are those who believe that those people should be punished. Will the party go ahead and punish them? Because it's unconstitutional. It's against the constitution of the party to work against the interests of the party the way many people did. Now, do you want to punish those people? or not. You know, even Katsina has a caretaker committee now. They have crisis in Katsina. So I didn't even remember Katsina. Katsina was a state where I thought they would even take the governorship.
I'm telling
but
you,
they
because they performed very well during the presidential election.
But the crisis within them will make members work against people they don't like. This is the problem. So now there are those who believe that the people who work against the party should be sent packing. The party has to decide, what should we do? Do we go for reconciliation and wipe the slate clean and say, okay, those of you that worked against us, we are forgiven. If that is what the party wants to do, they have to make that clear. I think the party needs a NEC meeting, if not a convention, which is the biggest organ of the party, where these issues can be resolved. I think the matter of IU should be brushed aside now. The party should focus on the future and decide what they want to do. If people like Wike want to remain in the party has to ask them, do you want to remain in the party? If you don't want to remain in party, the party has to decide what to do with them.
It becomes more difficult, Olayinka, when you have a tough customer, a politician in Aso Rock. Before, when you had an Obasanjo, when you had Jonathan, when you had a Yaradua, when you had Goodluck, you know, it was a different ball game. Right now, in the villa now, you have a politician that understands the name of the game. So how is PDP going to survive this onslaught in the next 4 years, or maybe if you say 8 years, because they want to stage a comeback?
I think the problem of the PDP is what can be referred to as that withdrawal symptom. They've been in power for 19 years, almost 2 decades, and they are used to being in power. So that 2015 was a shocker, sort of. Therefore, they have not recovered from that. And let's take a look at this. 3 or 4 people who have been big or who have attained national limelight or national power through the party, former President Olusegun Obasanjo is no more, he said he's no more into partisan politics. Jonathan is lukewarm. Namadi Sambo is non-committal. He only comes out when there is election. When the election is over, it fizzles out. So this party needs to take a deep look at itself. What has happened to us as a party? That's the question they should ask themselves. Why is it that Obasanjo, Jonathan, and Namadi, you can't bring these 3 people together? Okay, Obasanjo, his case is understandable. He has publicly declared that he's no more interested in partisan politics. But former President Jonathan and his vice president, the former vice president, the 2 of them have not said anything about the party. And the party seems also not to, the party seems that tend to look at it that maybe there are loads that they can shed off and they don't need to appeal to them or talk to them again. They may think that they don't have political clout and all that and so on and so forth. But as a person and the electorate will also look at that, as especially perceptive electorate, that, look, these people rose to power under this party. Why is it that they are no longer identifying with the party? So if you have a leader, or if you have leaders that have spent years as president and all that in your party, and they no longer want to openly associate with your party, then there must be something wrong. So, unfortunately, as Jide said, 2023 election, if PDP had been solid, as APC was in 2014, 2015, it will have been their own forte. Because, I mean, everything towards the election, currency redenomination, this and that, and so on, so many policies were working against the APC. If APC were to be the party in opposition at that point in time, they would have galvanized the whole country towards that. But unfortunately, PDP is either they don't have straight thinkers or deep thinkers that can help them look at issues and articulate it or what.
Going back to the same question now, when you know, if you have a skillful politician like Bola Tinubu in Aso Rock, and you want to, the likes of Abubakar Bukola Saraki and the rest, Atiku Abubakar, they're still on the other side. As in, what can PDP do? A lot of people are saying that as long as that name is still People's Democratic Party, that it will be difficult to sell it to Nigerians.
No, I disagree.
No, I don't
disagree.
think so.
This is a baseless.
I don't think so too.
If you look at the 2019 election, in terms of the performance of the party, they won more new states than the APC.
Yeah.
So it effectively combusts that argument. It's a baseless argument. They won more new states. In fact, APC was lucky to take some states through a mid-season, off-season election and all that. So if you look at their performance, they bridged the gap because they won new states. Bauchi did not belong to them originally. In 2019, they took it.
Adamawa?
Huh? Yes, Adamawa did not belong to them. They took it. Oyo did not belong to them. They took it. So how come people were voting for them if they didn't like the name? It has nothing to do with the name. It's about a party refusing to seize the moment. Because the conditions that were the subsisting conditions that helped PDP, APC to power in 2015 were not as grievous as what we had in 2023. Yeah. It's very clear.
Obviously.
The conditions that Nigerians were angry about that got them to vote APC in 2015 were not as bad as what we had in 2019, as what we had in 2023. This is the truth. Whether people will crucify me about that or no, is their problem. That is the truth. The conditions that were on ground for 2023.
That's 2023
bad. In my adult life, I've never seen such a thing. Where a CBN governor will make up his mind to inflict pain on the people. And allied to that, we also had the matter of fuel scarcity.
Yeah.
And we also had December. The Naira was on a free fall. You know? So if you can't capitalize on all of this, because I remember I was speaking with Abaribe, the senator, long before the 2023 election. Remember that interview I had with him, and we were discussing. He said, we can win this election if our party comes together. The same thing was what the then governor of the Taraba told me. I was in his office. He said, the only way we can win is if we come together. And what did we see? With the crisis, Wike, Otom, and the rest of them, with that crisis, how did they come together? You lose a man like Kwankwaso in Kano. Because he was in the PDP. And if you saw what they did to him, they just didn't want his own person to be one of the national officers.
That's all.
That's all. They made sure that that person
didn't national officer.
And at the end, they look at the crisis in Kano. I didn't even mention Kano again. Where Wali had his own faction. And the other people too. So how do you have crisis almost across the board and expect that you are going to win a
fragmented party?
Up till the last minute, we didn't know the candidate of the PDP in Kano. They were fighting between Ambassador Wali's faction and the other one.
All right. As we grieve over the killings in Plateau states, the people at the receiving end want urgent intervention. Saddened by the violence in the north-central states, President Bola Tinubu has condemned the recent killings in MANGU local government area of the states and parts of Benue states, while reaffirming his government's determination to stamp out insecurity across the country. The president directed security agencies to fish out the masterminds of the MANGU killing. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has asked the National Security Advisor, Nuri Badu, to declare the killing in Plateau State a national emergency. I think it's about time. Okay.
It's very unfortunate that this is going on in Plateau State because I have my roots there. And, you know, the governor is from that local government. And he was even the chairman before
The local
of the local government, before he became governor and all that. Whether they declare it as a national emergency or not is not what we are talking about. What we want now, don't let us go back to 2015 to 2019, when the president will just condemn and then the security chief will go there and all that. Operation Open Heaven or Save Heaven. I understand has relocated to that local government now, the headquarters. I don't know whether they have left there, but they've relocated there as of 2 or 3 days ago. Now, the question is, how does this thing happen? Why is it that there is no way our security agencies can cope this? We must begin to think strategically. As we have always said, these are not conventional wars. So they need unconventional ways of fighting them. These people, MANGU local government has a large population of herders. And they are large population of farmers. The natives or the indigenous are mostly farmers, and then they have, because the place is also very fertile, they also have herders who bring their cattle there for. So those are the things that may likely lead to such problem. But what the government need to do now is to show that concern. Honestly, I want a situation, if it will be possible that, okay, trouble is happening here. Either the governor himself and the commander and everybody, they let them station themselves in that place and try and find out what exactly it is. It is not only force that will solve the problem. You also need to call people together. What exactly is the problem? Why are you always fighting? Why? Before 1999, all these places were very, very peaceful. They were, I mean, from just to MANGU, there are places that you drive to, you go and have fun and meet people, you eat fresh food and meat, and, I mean, so what exactly, what has fallen there, or what has happened that has torn them apart? Why? Why are they fighting themselves? Because I remember in those days, when it is farming season, the others know they won't bring their cows. And when it is harvest season, when the farmers are finished harvesting, they invite the others, bring your cows to come and eat the remnant and excrete and give us manure.
crop residue.
Exactly. And then when they do that, they go. They become friends. They used to be friends. So why is it that what has happened that now nobody the Fulani man doesn't want to see the other man doesn't want to see the Fulani man? What exactly has happened? These are the issues the government need to find out. And then the security operative need to be properly equipped and briefed. It's not every time. This is just, what we are seeing now is just like a road show. Because after this, you leave, these people come back again. So what do we do?
It's unfortunate, the recurrent killings in MANGU now. Before now, we are killing people in Barking Lad and other places. Now, it's no longer just south, it's just north, where this thing is happening. The people of this area have not had peace for a long time.
Yes, sir.
And this whole problem began just shortly after the transition was completed to a new government. These killings began. Now, it's a national emergency, whether the NSA pronounces it as such or whether the National Assembly members see it as such. It's already a national disgrace. And because there is nowhere in the world, as I've said before, where people get killed the way they get killed in Nigeria. It is not our fault to have a population. Or are we killing people because we think that our population is too much? You can't be taking people's lives like this. These soldiers, we see some of them taking pictures and all that. That's not what we want to see. Get into those forests, get into those forests and deal decisively with this violence. You can't be killing people like this. And just as he said, during the immediate past administration, the president will condemn the killings. He will order his security operatives go and deal decisively, but nothing will happen. We will hear again that people are being killed. There has to be repercussions. When a commissioner of police is in a place and the violence is recurrent, he can't find a solution, he has no reason to keep his job.
At all.
He has no reason to keep his job. That's the way it should be. And if there is a commander, whether it is Operation Safe Haven, I don't even understand the whole that phrase. Safe Haven is tautological. Is bad English. Any haven is by nature safe.
It's safe.
So you can't say safe haven. It's bad English that we shouldn't even be hearing. Now, if whether it's Operation Safe Haven or whatever, we want to see our people live in peace. We want to see our people secure, because how do we even as a nation how do we expect investors to come in? Even last night I heard that on this Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, at the same spot where criminal headsmen are fond of picking our people, at the boundary between Oyo and Ogun, they pick people that they took them into the bush again. We have last night. Yes, last night.
Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
Yes, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. I've not read it anywhere, but it happened. We have to deal decisively with people. If you have outstanding issues, unresolved issues amongst yourself, you have no right to take the law into your hands. I'm telling you, you have no right to take a life. I'm telling you. You are not a giver of life, and you have no right to take a life. If you take a life, you should be arrested and prosecuted. Allowing people to waste human lives, most of the time, the president was lamenting about an eight-month-old infant. These are not human beings. People killing eight-month-old infants. They are not human beings. I've seen, even when I was still in the print media, it was still this James Joss that I saw a little girl, about 5-year-old or so. A cutlass was used to split her head into
so many.
You see, they braided her hair. The excellent braiding was there, and they cut that head into two. We are dealing with animals killing humans, and we have to take decisive steps. I want to see what the Chief of Army Staff is doing. Because that this killing has continued is an embarrassment.
It's an embarrassment.
Are we saying that these killings cannot be solved? That we cannot find a solution?
Coming with camouflage, coming with this.
Are we saying that, of course, they will have their uniform, leave them with their uniform now. You know? Are we saying that these non-state actors are bigger than our people? If we need somebody, the president to set up a committee
day after day.
The president to set up a committee, put someone like Yaya Bello, the governor of Kogi State. What does it? Because Yaya Bello sometimes will go into the bush to confront these people by himself. He's done it, not once, not twice. He had to lead these people. They went into Nasarawa State to take out a terrorist inside Nasarawa territory. Because they won't let our people rest in Kogi State. So if the president needs Yaya Bello to help in something like this, of course he will be ready to do it. He's a governor and the time is there. Instead of watching people die, this is not central. If we don't tame them, they will move into other states.
Yes. You know, it is because of things like this that one character the other day came out and said that he was asked to man Abuja Kaduna Road because the military. So the military has to show itself that look, we are capable. We are up. That's the reason why police are not used in this kind of thing. The military is there. They should go there and find out what exactly is the problem.
Don't we have surveillance aircraft again? That we can
spot where these people are.
Where is their hideout? Where is their den? Where is their den? We identify their den.
People come and kill people. It's not that they gather, okay, let's go now. No. They have a place where they...
When terrorists killed our brigade of guard guys the other day,
yes,
they gave them a bloody nose now.
Yes.
They went into the forest, identified their hideout, took them out, burnt their camp. So and we've had peace on that Abuja. In fact, a friend of mine left Kano at 8 p.m. He was going to Abuja. All those kidnapping and all that, do you read about them again on Kaduna Abuja highway? If you take decisive action, you can solve these problems. I don't know why it's so difficult. We are watching these people being killed. Are we going to wait until they exterminate a whole, an entire community or a whole people?
And any figure we get, you know that it's
conservative. It's conservative. Edited, yes. It's so sad that we allow this to go on. This administration must not take the pattern of the last one with the issue of...
We have to be decisive. We have to be decisive.
Very, very decisive.
No negotiating with the criminals.
No.
Take them out. That is language that they understand. Every time, look at the bandits in the northwest, for example.
Yes.
Every time they are feeling the heat, they will start calling for amnesty. They will start calling for dialogue.
Amnesty for the.
But we too will relax and then allow them to recruit. Our strategy has to change. With a new set of service chiefs, they've got to come up with a strategy that will work. We can't continue the way we've been doing it for years without achieving results.
Olaika Igule, thank you for your contribution. BKO, thank you for always being there. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. Join us this Sunday for Journalist Hangout on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVCnews Nigeria. I'm ABDULAZIZ. I'll see you tomorrow.
Is a paid presentation by ShopX TV.
Do you spend the night trying to get comfortable? Your knees rub bone on bone. Your back and hips ache. You wake up in pain? Not anymore. ShopX TV is proud to introduce the Contour Legacy Pillow, the patented, ergonomically designed tapered leg pillow that naturally fits the contours of your legs, knees, and thighs